Hello there, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to my channel. If you have school-age children, you're definitely going to want to listen to this video. You're definitely going to want to share this video. And please subscribe to my channel. I'm a single mom. And I moved in to the city of Country Club Hills, Illinois, which is a south suburb out of Chicago, 30 minutes outside of Chicago. I am currently talking about school district, as you can see, 160. There are several schools in this district that have problems. For one, none of the schools that's in the same district. I have twin boys that go to Southwood Elementary School, and I have a younger one that goes to Meadowview Elementary School. Both of those are in the same school district, District 160. I also have a high schooler that goes to Hillcrest, which is, I was told that Hillcrest is a different district. Even though it's still in Country Club Hills, it's a different school district. When I transferred my twin boys in, I had nothing but problems. I didn't do anything differently that I did when I transferred Angel in, when I transferred Benjamin in. They got in with no problem. Got the records. The school sent over the records to them. The school that they came from didn't do anything differently. So Benjamin could not start right away. I was told that Benjamin had to wait for a schedule. Even though they had already had his previous schedule from another school, they had to make up a new schedule for him. Okay. So Benjamin missed 2 weeks of school, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks at the most. Angel, they were still waiting. I think they needed Angel's birth certificate or something. And she said if I can get that over to them, Angel could start the next. Angel only missed a week of school. So Angel would be able to start the next following day or whatever that was. So Angel had missed 1 week of school. Get over to Southwood, the same thing, same actions. They keep telling me, oh, we didn't receive anything. We don't have anything, Mrs. James. Therefore, we can't let the boys start school. Week goes by. 2 weeks goes by. 3 weeks go by. I'm going up to the school every day. I'm asking them, what is it that you need? They tell me that they'll call you. They never called me. They never talked to. I said, why is it that there's such a hard time with getting them in school and the other schools didn't do anything differently? We did all the same thing. I give you the same information. These kids all live in the same household. The school has sent, faxed, email, everything over. The high school said, well, let us help. Maybe if they send it to us, we can send it over to the junior high. So someone from the high school from Hillcrest tried to help me. They sent everything over. I go back over to the school, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm conversating with a Miss Hampton. Miss Hampton has no respect. She's very rude. She does not care about the kids. She won't return a phone call. Every person that I mentioned her name to, they said, oh, we know her. We know about her. I said, ma'am, I am trying to get my boys in school. Aren't you in the business of getting the kids in school? Well, I'm sorry. I don't know where you came from. I don't know what, but out here we do things differently. So I called back to Naperville, and they said, we sent this lady everything. We sent everything to her. Well, I didn't get anything. My fax machine didn't go off all day. I literally had to go as far as to call the alderman to get help and assistance to try to get the kids in school. So therefore, she says, I still haven't received their shot records. So without their shot records, they can't get in school. I went and got new physicals. Got everything that she needed. And she still says, oh, well, one of them have IEPs, and I haven't received the IEPs, so they still can't start school. So we're talking about 1 week goes by, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months. 2 months it took to get my kids in school. The school that they came from in Naperville said, we would have never, Mrs. James, kept those kids out of school that long. Never. We would have allowed them to come to school, and we would have worked with you in order to get the things that the children need to stay in school, because we wouldn't want to have to put them back out of school. I said, well, why didn't this school do that? Every principal said they could have let them in school. If you got new physicals and everything, they should have let them in school. The alderman, which is for Country Club Hills, one of the aldermen, her name is Lisa Evans. She was the one that was calling back and forth to try to help me. She says to me, Mrs. James, I'm the alderman and they're not even calling me back. I said, wow. So finally I get the twins in school. I get Angel, everyone in school. They're doing very, very good. My kids are, they get very, very good grades in school. The whole school year, they were doing good. Got out for Christmas break and everything. Things was trying to look up for us. I got a job and everything, and I started doing Uber to help out and all this. Fast forward to December 30th. December 30th, on my way, coming home. Actually, I went house looking because I had decided Country Club Hills is not a place for me. Country Club Hills is not a place for my family. They're not about helping families. They're not about supporting families. They're not about helping the children. They're not about supporting the children. So I started over the holiday break looking for us a new home back in Naperville. December 30th, coming home, on my way home from work, I was slammed from behind on the expressway. My car spent out 3 times, and I didn't come to a stop until I slammed and hit a concrete wall. I had to be cut out of my car. I could not walk. I couldn't even stand up. The fire department had to carry me once they got me out of the car. They got me to the hospital. They did a CAT scan and everything. And I have nerve damage to my neck, my back, my spine. So I can't sit for, this is why I'm moving. You guys probably saying, why is she moving so much? Well, this is why I'm moving. I move a lot because I have to get comfortable, and it hurts when I sit too long. It hurts when I stand too long. I could barely go to the bathroom. Excuse me about if I'm getting a little bit upset, but you'll know in a minute. So I got out of the hospital December 31st. My 2 older children came and picked me up and took me home. They gave me pain meds. When I was in the hospital, they gave me morphine. That's how bad the pain was. They had to give me morphine. The day I got out of the hospital, which was the next day, they gave me pain meds and muscle relaxers. My son was supposed to have came, my older son, to go and get my prescription. Well, that day, my son never arrived. I never heard from him. I'm like, what is he doing? Well, it's the weekend. It's New Year's Eve. So I'm assuming that maybe he's out getting ready for New Year's or whatever, and he's probably going to come later. I didn't hear anything from him. New Year's Day, that morning, my son calls me and he says, Mom, I was in a car accident. He says, calm down before you get upset. I'm okay. He said that night, which was Sunday, which was New Year's Eve, he said getting off the E-way, he was slammed from behind. He said it was damage to the back of his car. The driver took off and kept going. But he said he was fine. So I'm a nervous wreck because I knew what I had just went through prior. He said, but Mom, I'll be over there to see you. I'll talk to you later. So a friend of mine said, Gina, did you get your meds? And I said, no, my son was in a car accident. I never got my meds. So she said, well, I'll come. I'll get the younger kids. We'll go to the store, get them out the house, and I'll go get your medicine filled, your prescription filled. I said, okay. While she was at Walgreens getting my prescription filled, she needed to get my insurance card. She needed for me to take a picture. My family lives in Atlanta, Georgia. And like I said, I'm here in the south suburbs outside of Chicago. Phone kept ringing. I'm like, oh, they don't want anything. It's the holiday season. I'll call them back. It's New Year's Day. I'll call them back. To make a long story short, I call my niece back, and she tells me that my sister had passed away. So mind you, I was in a car accident December 30th. December 31st, my son gets in a car accident. New Year's Day, my sister dies. My mother only had 3 children, 3 girls. I'm the oldest of the 3. My sister that died is the middle child. I'm upset. I'm like, God, what could be next? I am barely walking around. I need a cane just to get to the bathroom. I tell my daughter, who works for one of the airlines, and she's like, Mom, do you want to leave today? Do you want to leave tomorrow? I say, I can't leave today. I got to get things in order, put my flight in for tomorrow. We left that next day, which was January 2nd. When I get out to Atlanta, Georgia, I find out, they tell me that my sister had passed away from a drug overdose. She did not pass away. When I get out there, I find out later that she did not pass away from a drug overdose. She was beat to death. She was beat to death by 2 individuals. I don't know where they got that she had a drug overdose. So of course I'm out there and I'm trying to do whatever I can to do. My mother's is a senior. She's not married. She's by herself. I'm the oldest. I'm trying to take care of everything that I can take care of. My sister had 2 sons. They're adults, and we're trying to do whatever we can to try to find out what happened and to try to get my sister buried. So I would do what any mother would do. I called the schools, each one of my children's schools, to let them know what happened. I asked to speak to the social workers so that I can let the social workers know what was going on with my family. The high school said, okay, thank you for making us aware. We will keep in touch with Benjamin. We would make sure, that Benjamin's okay. If he's need anything, we're there for him. I contacted Southwood. To this day, I left messages and messages for them. They have not contacted me. The social worker there finally get in contact with her. Oh, okay, Mrs. James, thank you. We'll check on the boys, this and that. They never did. I called my daughter's school, which was Meadowview. And my daughter, we had still been waiting for the bus service. The bus service that they said that she was approved for, which she never got. So during those times that I'm waiting for Angel to get a bus service, I was driving her back and forth to school before my car accident. So I say to the principal, I'm out of town. My sister passed away. Is there any way you guys can put a rush on that bus so that Angel can get back and forth to school? Because the twins, they take the bus to school. And of course now Benjamin, he walks. He's in walking distance, but I would take him when I had my car. The principal said, oh yeah, of course, we're gonna get right on that. The principal of Meadowview is Shamika Fountain, Mrs. Fountain. She says, oh yeah, we'll get right into that. Never heard back from him. I'm calling every day. I says, Mrs. Fountain, I got friends. They'll try to get Angel to school. They'll try to get her picked up, but we really need that bus service. She says, I'm waiting to hear from them. I'm waiting for them to get back to me. Never heard anything. Now, mind you, I'm still in Atlanta, Georgia. I get back. I spend a month out in Atlanta. I finally get back home. When I get back home, well, a little bit over 3 weeks, I get back home. I called the school and I says, I need to get the bus service for Angel because Angel has missed a lot of days out of school. My friend's car broke down and she couldn't take her. When she would be able to take her, she would take Angel to school. When she could not take Angel, Angel had no way to get to school. Mind you, at this time, I'm not working. I do Uber. I don't have a car. Now I no longer have a income. And I'm explaining all of this to the principal. So she says, well, I'll get back to you. Week go by. She does not get back to me. I call her. Oh, I was out sick. I was out sick for 3 days, Mrs. James. Sorry, I couldn't get back to you. I said, well, it's going up on a month. Like, we really need to get Angel in school. Okay, let me look into some stuff and I'll call you back. Now she calls me back and she says, oh, the district says you have to be living 1.5 miles away, but you live 1.3 miles away. I said, okay, so we got to argue over 0.2 miles. Well, that's their policy. They're not going to, go against their policy. They figure if they do this for you, they're going to have to do this for everyone else. I said, but why? You guys didn't say this in the beginning. In the beginning, you said she qualified for bus service. Now, because there's no other students any longer at this current bus stop, because those children are now in junior high, they don't want to dispatch a bus for Angel because Angel's the only kid and Angel's in 5th grade. So they don't want to do this. That's the bottom line. I said, this doesn't make any sense. I'm not asking you to do anything extra. I need to get my daughter in school. She needs to be in school. Angel was a good student, very good student. This is her report card. Very good grades. This is a child that needs to be in school. This is a child that needs to be in school. So I asked them, can you point me in a direction so that I can get some type of assistance? So Mrs. Fountain says, well, you know what? Why don't you call the school district, the superintendent? So the person over student services is Mrs. Blissett. She gives me a call back and she says, oh, well, Mrs. James, I wish we could do it. But, if we do this for you, we'll do it. Other people will be complaining. And I said, I'm not asking you to do anything special. You guys in the beginning told me my daughter qualified for bus service. Now somewhere along the line, someone's changing it. I was in a car accident. I lost my sister. I am not going to have my daughter walk 1.3 miles to school by herself. 6:30 at night. It's still dark outside. I said, if I was in a position to walk her, you guys wouldn't hear a word from me because I would get up every morning to walk her. I could barely walk to the bathroom. I said, I'm not asking anyone to do anything special. I'm asking to just get her to school. Well, we can supply, you with numbers for a bus company, a bus service, but you would have to pay for that. I said, ma'am, I am 2 months behind in my rent. If I can't even pay rent, how can I pay for a bus company to get my daughter to school? My job was Uber. I don't have a car. I am waiting. You guys probably saying, well, what happened to the insurance and this and that? That you have to wait for that. I'm fighting back and forth with the insurance companies. They have to get my doctor bills and all that stuff. It's a process. It takes time. If you've been in a car accident, you don't get paid right away. So I have nothing coming in. I'm on the phone. I'm begging them to please just send the bus service at least up until they send me the check to pay for my car or something. So I could get something in order to get my daughter to school. Oh, no, we can't do that. I'll look into some stuff and we'll get back to you. I've called the alderman, Lisa Evans, explained to her. She has not contacted me back. I guess she's tired of dealing with the school district. Mrs. Blissett says to me, Well, what happened to you moving to back to Naperville? I thought you was moving to Naperville. I said, honey, I am planning on moving to Naperville. I said, but since you want to know, since you asked, the day I got in a car accident, I had just went to see two houses in Naperville. I said, I can't stop how life goes. I didn't ask to be hit on the E-way. I did not ask for my son to get in another accident the next day. I did not ask for my sister to be murdered. So that put a stop on me trying to get another place back to where we came from. But we're here now, and right now we're still here. And right now I need assistance to get my daughter back in school. I have called everyone that I could possibly call, and no one, nowhere has given me any help or any assistance. I have called the mayor's office out here of Country Club Hills, District 160, every single day, and no one has returned my calls. They don't care about the kids out here. They don't care about the parents out here. But oh, by the way, Mrs. Blissett made sure, hold on one second. Mrs. Blissett made sure to ask me, oh, well, Mrs. James, that's going to be truancy because you're keeping her out of school, and it's not like she can't go to school. You just don't want her to come to school. I said, no, I want her to be in school. I don't want to risk something happening to my daughter. I said, do you not understand that my sister was murdered? I'm not going to send my 10-year-old daughter to school. She was 10. She just turned 11 January 17th. I'm not going to send my daughter back and forth to school walking by herself. And you got pedophiles all over the place. You got people that will be looking at this young girl walking to school by herself. My daughter may not make it to school. My daughter may not make it back home from school. I said, I'm not risking that. I said, so send whoever it is, whatever it is you got to do. I'm on the phone every day. I'm online every day trying to figure out how to get my daughter in school. I have no family out here. I have no one. My other children, my son just moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana, 3.5 hours away. He can't come here and take my daughter to school every day. He has his own children and family. My other daughter, she's an airline stewardess. She doesn't even have a car. So I'm sitting up here and I'm asking them, is there anybody? Oh, well, we can look. Well, I can send you, to some food pantries or something. You can, out in Chicago Heights, they have some assistance. I said, ma'am, Chicago Heights is another 45 minutes away from me. I said, ma'am, if I can't get my daughter to school every day, how am I going to get to Chicago Heights? How am I going to get out there to Chicago Heights? And you guys are probably saying, well, what about Uber or taking it? Like I said, if I don't have an income coming in, how am I going to pay for Uber? I was driving Uber. So my job just went when my car went. So I have to wait to get a new car in order to get back to work. I haven't paid rent in 2 months. I haven't paid my utility bills. I have not paid anything. And I told them, I'm not asking you all to help me with that. I'm not asking you all for anything. I told my landlord, I said, as soon as my taxes come, I'm going to pay you up in full. I'll pay everything in full as soon as my taxes come. But right now, I'm trying to get my daughter to school. And I'm not getting any help or any support. In the city of Country Club Hills, do not give a damn about the children, especially, and nor the parents. And it's very sad that you would think someone that's in the district, in the business of keeping kids in school and keeping them educated, that the social workers would go out their way to try to help you. And they don't. I'm calling over again, Dr. Powell, Mrs. Fountain, Mrs. Blissett, Mrs. Hampton, who works at the school, who was other on the school board, Mrs. Humphrey, a Jacqueline Doss, Mrs. Payton. All of these are people that work for the school and for the district, for the school, and not one of them could say, oh, well, Mrs. James, why don't you call this person, or why don't you call that person? Oh, Mrs. James, why don't let me look into this and see what I can do. Maybe we can get a bus service and stretch it for a couple of weeks. We could probably give you a few weeks or something, or a couple of months, and then we have to stop the service. They have given me nothing. And it's just heart-wrenching that I'm going through a lot, and I'm not asking for much. All I'm asking is for help and support to get my child to school. Is that much to ask for? In the city, we're in America, to where you're supposed to be in the business of getting. Just last year, they had bus at that same exact bus stop. The kids were taking the bus from over here. When I transferred my daughter into the school, so they said, yeah, she qualifies for bus service. And then they decide now, well, she's the only one, so we don't want to supply a bus just for her, have a full bus come over there just for her. So they realize we 1.3 miles, so they change it to 1.5 miles. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. And I ask of you guys to please share this video. This shouldn't be happening here. Thank you all for listening, and God bless.